Hi there, I'm Will of the People, and I approve this message, and I bet you will too. If you're like most people, in fact over 90% of the people realize something's wrong with our governing system, and the evidence is all around us. Now, the first order of business for us to figure out the solution is to first let go of our false beliefs. And most people harbor a very false belief that they were taught from the time they were young, and they cling to that belief as though it's true. What I'm talking about is the belief that democracies, real democracies, don't work. There's actually no proof or evidence of that in history. That was the rationalization an argument made to establish the governing system we have that's failing. You're about to see the scientific and mathematic proof that a real democracy can work. And yet, even though no nation in history has ever tried it, I think it's about time for us to open up our eyes and start thinking differently to see the remedy to fix our governing system. I'll be back at the end of this clip to visit with you about how we can create a better system and amend the one we have to make that happen.
In an election year, people might disagree about who makes the best candidate, but you don't hear much argument on the merits of democracy, that millions of average people can together make a wise decision. It wasn't always so. In the early 20th century, this controversial Englishman, Sir Francis Galton, tried to statistically test whether mobs of common folk were capable of choosing well. And, as our musical correspondent Rob Morseberger tells us, what Sir Francis actually found was that, mathematically at least, there's often wisdom in a crowd.
Sir Francis Galton was a nobleman and scorned the common masses. He thought that votes of governance should be left to higher classes. He'd prove with all the data from a contest inescapable of guessing even simple things the commoners were incapable.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up.
What kind of contest might it be?
Guess the ox's weight and see. Guess the weight correctly and win a prize.
It's 100.
Said a little one.
That's much too light. At least a ton.
An eager crowd queued up to play. 800 made a guess that day.
So we had 800 data points.
And now the ox's weight is exactly 1,198 pounds. There are no winners.
Sir Francis knew the rabble would never guess the weight. How might they judge important things if left to meet that fate? With mathematics, he would show how far they went astray. But in the end, his theory was in total disarray. Because a curve of all the guesses...
Oh, that curve? It's the cumulative distribution function of the normal distribution. Sorry, that's what it's called.
Because graphing all the guesses and determining their mean...
I think he was talking about the median.
And determining their median, he showed that if the crowd were one, its estimate is keen. He showed that if the crowd were one, its estimate is keen.
Keen, yes.
That's because while no individual guessed the actual weight, the average of all the guesses is exactly right.
The average will generally be better than a randomly selected individual guess.
The average of the masses assures us of success.
I think he was talking about the median.
And the larger the number of guesses we toss in,
the more likely we are to get the right answer about the oxen.
this premature prognostication, they cannot help but scoff.
Galton should have gathered more data before he went shooting his mouth off.
Sir Francis's hypothesis was rocked by ignoramuses. He lost the proof he had avowed. He found the wisdom of the crowds.
If you have a group of people and they each have tiny bits of information, then you can learn a lot if we could just gather all of those bits together.
It's just like Wikipedia.
Well, this isn't exactly like Wikipedia, no. It's a little bit different.
It could maybe be Wikipedia. You don't even need to be an expert, but if you know something, then you're able to contribute, and that entry is able to be that much more informed.
Another sample of this fair?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, the audience lifeline.
If a person feels like they can't answer the question by themselves, ask the audience.
The audience is right over 90% of the time.
There you go.
How about that, Gelman?
The wrong Gelman.
Sorry.
One by one, we're not too smart, but every guess, it plays its part. And when you add them up, you'll find the wisdom of the crowd.
Well, there you have it. Sir Francis Galton, one of the greatest scientists in history, actually proved over 100 years ago that real democracy can work, that we the people are capable of governing ourselves without politicians. Now just imagine not having politicians interfering and ruining our societies. They have a history of ruining every nation they've ever ruled. And of course, we've got to remember to include judges in that equation too. Now, Albert Einstein coined the definition of insanity as doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. When we let go of our false belief that real democracy won't work, then we can start seeing, and we will start seeing, our real solution, our remedy to fix our governing system that's failing. If you like this idea and you want to secure your freedom, peace, and safety for you and your loved ones, then the way to do it is actually described in this little book I'm holding in my hand. And you can get more information by going to the website RIGHTtoCONSENT.com. This is a blueprint for how we can do it. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, then click on the Right to Consent link at the top of your computer screen and subscribe to the Right to Consent channel and make this go viral, because the more we wake up and let go of our false beliefs, the sooner we'll see our remedy.